What's going on, world? What's going on? It's your main man, the author. I'm right back at that ass again. Here's another one. Hey, man, I just want to make this brief video, man. Something I've been thinking about. I don't usually make videos unless I really have or feel that I have some gems to drop for y'all. So here's the issue, man. Something I've been thinking about. Men cannot be alpha males, or men cannot be strong men if they're pussy slaves. I repeat, men cannot be strong men if they're pussy slaves. And here's what I mean. I'm not talking about pussy whip. That's bad too. Like if you were a female and the sex is good and you follow behind her because the sex is good and she's fine. But most men, I've found, and I've been on this side of the fence myself. Most men I've found are pussy slaves. They're slaves to the pussy. Check it out. How many men do you know of? Now, men and women, of course, the attraction is different, right? Men are visual creatures. Women, they're trying to make women into visual creatures when it comes to attraction as well. Through feminism, but that's not the natural way in which a woman in her right mind, with her right maternal instinct, that's not the way she selects men. She has to go beyond looks. She wants to know if the man will be suited to take care of her offspring. So she wants internal strength, right? So with that being said, I've seen a lot of brothers, man, model looking brothers, not to be on no, homo type thing like that, but model looking brothers, man, with chicks that weigh twice as much as they weigh, like 400-pound chicks. Model looking brothers with chicks that look ugly or that's decent. Excuse me. I mean, women are winning these days, man. In terms of the relationship male-female dynamic, they're winning, man. Because in a lot of ways, they can pretty much have, men are so weak these days in terms of being pussy slaves that they can pretty much, get whatever they want. Back when I was growing up, a pretty bitch was just a pretty bitch. Nowadays, especially with Twitter and all this, a pretty bitch is like a rock star, right? You can get likes and all that, so on and so forth, right? Dude, I mean, we got one at our store, man, that's just training. Dude feel uncomfortable working with her because she's so pretty, so fine, right? We put too much on that. So guys are pussy slaves, meaning they can't go without the pussy, right? You got some of these females that are going 4 and 5 and 6 years without sex, because they can't find the type of guy that they want. Now, if she can go without sex longer than you, she is stronger than you. I repeat, if she can go without sex longer than you, she is stronger than you, right? Because make no mistake, man, the alpha male has nothing to do with the size and the strength and the muscles. A lot of guys are big, strong guys, and they get slapped around like little puppies by their female. Alpha males are guys who have internal strength. We're talking about internal strength, inner game. Now, granted, some outer game is necessary, but if your inner game is strong enough, it's going to overflow and pour out and automatically create your outer game. Why? Because when I talk about inner game, I'm talking about the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is a lot stronger than the conscious mind. A lot stronger. 95 to about 99% of all of our actions are automatic. And that comes from the subconscious mind. All right? So the subconscious mind is so strong, even when the conscious mind is asleep, your heart beats, your liver still functions, just like if you're awake, right? That's how powerful Because if there was no subconscious mind when you sleep, every time you sleep, you sleep, you would die, right? So subconsciously, if a guy is strong subconsciously, it's gonna have to show in his outer frame. And here's what guys are not talking about, man. I've been looking into, I've been kind of following here and there, PUA and the men's movement. It was called a pickup. It was a pickup artist type movement in 2004 when David D'Angelo came forth with it. I just looked into it because I wanted more quality women. Sure, I was getting women, but I wanted women more along the lines of what I felt were attractive. I was raised the same way a lot of black men from the inner city was raised. Pussy ain't got no face, right? What does that mean? Pussy ain't got no face. That means, man, as long as a pussy is attached to it, you chase it. You take it. And that shit just shows so much weakness. You're a weak male if you follow that. And 90% of the guys out there follow that motto. Pussy doesn't have a face, right? That's why you see guys, average sized guys with fat chicks. And not only are they with a chick that's bigger than they are, but they are controlled by a chick that's bigger than they are. You figure if a guy had a fat chick or ugly chick in a relationship, being that men are visual creatures, if they were settling for that, they should at least be in control of the relationship, but they're not, right? So that the thing is too, and most guys, especially from the inner city, but and other races as well, most guys cannot go 2 days, 3 days without sex. Now I know if you're a teenager in your early 20s, it's a lot harder. But guys are gonna, in order to be that strong alpha, you're gonna have to learn how to control your hormones, man. Because with chicks, if a chick is able to hold out like that, then she's gonna be stronger than you. And a lot of guys too, they can't imagine, especially when they become older, they can't imagine taking a trip by themselves. I told guys, hey man, I'm going on my this upcoming vacation. I'm going by myself. A lot of guys, oh, you're not going with anybody? A lot of guys are afraid to be alone with themselves. They can't go on a 3 or 4 hour trip by themselves. And don't get me wrong, alphas are also social creatures, but they can stand alone. And a lot of times they do have to. And even when it becomes, even when they have to make, because at the end of the day, the boss of the corporation is left with the decision by himself at the end of the day. So, like they say, victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. So if that corporate mogul or that corporate president or whoever, the owner, if he makes the right decision, yeah, we all win. If everybody prospers, he wins. If he loses, then it was the stupid boss's fault, right? For fucking everything up. He's alone with that. So alphas have to learn how to stand alone, and it doesn't happen. Having these skill sets doesn't happen when you become the rich CEO, or even if you're not a CEO. It's with the day-to-day things. The small things, right? So that's what I'm talking about, man. When guys, if a guy is a pussy slave, he will never be a strong man. And only strong men can be alphas. And I don't hear any dating coaches really talking about this. They'll talk about how to approach women, inner game, outer game, Keno, the mating steps as far as eye-to-eye contact, hand contact with the touch, then eventually with the kiss, then eventually with oral sex, and then they'll talk about the mating sequence and the mating process and how to approach and how to be cocky funny and stuff like that. But nobody's talking about the major Achilles heel in this equation, man. guys being pussy slaves. If you're a pussy slave, none of that shit is gonna work. If you're a pussy slave, you are internally weak, and none of that shit is gonna work. If you can't go 5 days, 10 days without pussy, if you can't go months without pussy, years without pussy, and she's stronger than you, and that's gonna show up in the relationship. She's gonna, because that's what happens. Men are physically stronger than females based on testosterone, but a lot of females are internally stronger than men. And and the pussy is one of the major tools they use to get men to make the wrong decision. And a lot of young guys are thinking that females validate them. You know, even in some of these rap videos, they have to mention a female because it validates them, when a female is not supposed to validate a man. A female, when these rich men get females, female is the byproduct of success. You're supposed to want the power first. The female, just because the female is going to follow the power. So she's a byproduct of success. She doesn't define you. She's the byproduct of your success. And a lot of guys don't get that, man. And even if you never get to be rich and powerful, if you are a pussy slave, you will never be a strong man. And if you're not a strong man, you can never be an alpha. Because even though alphas are social creatures, because they have to be social, they tend to be social leaders, you got to have that first core. Your core's got to be strong first. And if you can't go without sex, if you can't go on long trips by yourself, if you can't stand being alone with yourself more than 5 minutes, you're going to be a weak man, and that's going to show up in a relationship. And see, the thing is, too, a lot of pretty girls want to be whores, man. They want to give 2 or 3 dudes some pussy, no matter how they look. But, I mean, now if you're hideous and you only got one eye and half a nostril, but if you have at least average looks, man, a lot of females want to spread it around. But here's the thing. See, females, especially back in the day, if you were a female and you were looked at as a whore, you could be stoned to death, right? So females know that's why, you know, a lot of females fight, because one female called the other female a whore, right? Because females can't survive if they're looked at as a whore. The community will start to attack them. So they don't want to be looked at as whores, even though some of them want to be whores, right? So just think, if you're a fine female, right, and you just horny and you do want to spread it around to a few dudes, and you want to be able to fuck a dude and not have no strings attached, right? You fuck them and then y'all just go back to talking, and then you may fuck them and then you go back to talking, right? But the average guy is so thirsty, or he's been taught, or so, meaning he's so horny, or he's so overwhelmed by a cute female. If she gives him pussy one time, he gonna be following her around. If she passes it to 2 dudes are gonna be following her around, trying to be protective, trying to be her boyfriend. Because most guys have what? Scarcity, right? So if they hit it once, it's so hard for most guys to get laid. They're going to be like, damn, that's a fine-ass female. She gave me some pussy. I want to keep this thing going. So I'm going to have to, have her on my team, quote unquote. And nobody else can have her, right? So if she had the job, she fucked 4 different dudes. She got 4 different dudes following her around, sending her weird text messages. The dude probably couldn't even focus on this, because I see a fine female that's training at our store, and she just met these guys, and they already all up her ass. You know, she walked this way, they'll walk to follow her. You know, always talking to her. Everything they do, they try to make it seem like it's not, but everything they do is kind of placated around her. You think she doesn't notice that, man? And then you're easy game to be taken advantage of off of that shit. You know, I mean, if you got if you see dudes on Facebook in the inboxes of a lot of these females, and some of these Facebook profiles, they got pretty pictures of a female, but it's not even a female, right? But you see how guys are so visual, they'll fall in love over a picture. So if you'll fall in love over Instagram, you know, imagine a real life pretty female giving you some pussy. Most guys couldn't even handle that. They'll be fucked up over that, man. They can't handle that. You know, without trying to marry her or quote unquote cuff her. And she could be a psycho killer. But if the pussy's good and she's at least an 8, 9, or 10, that motherfucker will cut his mama's throat to try to have a relationship to keep that going. And that's a weak man. And 90% of the guys out here are like that, man. Probably 99. They're pussy slaves, you know. If you and half the guys who are in these marriages, man, they didn't want to be with these females, but the female gave them some pussy, and they wanted to keep the pussy coming consistently. So the only way a guy could do that, they feel, is that they have to get in a relationship or marry the chick or live with the chick. And that now we know that's not even 100% right, because sometimes the sex will start off strong, but the longer you stay together, the more she ain't fucking you, right? Because she know that you dependent on the sex. When you really get into it, then she takes it away, right? You know, I mean, they got it good, man. They gaming us, man. And then she can turn, even a fat, ugly chick can turn her pussy into a reward, to where you have to do something in order to get that. You have to clean the gutters. You have to pick something up from the store. You know, and then she might be rationing it out, only giving it to you. You got married guys that only get laid once a year, right? And some of these females are holding out for a long time. Some of them are fucking somebody else on the side. But my point is, when you have guys that, if you got a female who can go without, now females love dick, but they're strong enough internally to be able to go without it. Now society is not all men's fault. Society teaches men to be pussy hounds and pussy slaves, because especially in America, they want females to control men and keep men nest slaves and all that type of shit like that. But being in that situation, man, you can never be a strong man. And if you're not a strong man, you can never be an alpha. So being a pussy slave, you will not get there. And I've never, like I said, now they have what they call the green pill or the red pill, the men's movement. The men's movement kind of sparked from the pickup artist movement. Like I said, I didn't have to go to that. A lot of guys didn't have to go to that to get girls. They went to that so they can get better quality women. A lot of guys are on here talking about, well, I never had to study PUA to get some pussy. None of us did, dude. None of us really did. Dudes went to that community because they wanted better quality women. They wanted 9s and 10s. Most guys out here, even the ones who are getting laid, aren't getting 9s and 10s. They're not. They're not even getting 8s. I've seen model dudes that like I said, no homo, but they model dudes. They can have their face in magazines, and the girls that they with are like 5s, 4s, and 5s. And they're controlled by those 4s and 5s, bro. That matter of fact, a lot of the 10s I see that I've seen in my life are with guys who are like, visually, those guys are like 4s, man. I had this friend named Rob, bro. He back in the day from Florida. Man, this dude, if you look at his face, you could tell he had one of them hard prison faces. Black dude, right? Not saying, you know, I'm the best looking dude in the world, you know what I'm saying? But my man Rob had a hard face, bro. And some of the finest chicks I've ever seen He had some fine ass chicks. Yeah, one that came up. She was a mixed breed. She had like curly hair. She was fine as fuck. She came up to visit him, man. I seen him with this one little fine chick too. I've seen this ugly dude I used to work with and when I was a summer camp counselor. I tried to talk to his chick. He was living with her. She was fine. Some of the finest chicks I've ever seen are with guys who not even close to looking like models, man. And that's because those dudes have not all those the uglier dudes are alphas, but they don't have as much bitch in them as the average guy. You know, they'll walk up, approach. They don't care about what if a woman tells them no. They don't even, because my man told me, he said he don't care how many females call him ugly and say no. He said, if I approach enough of them motherfuckers, somebody's going to say yes. You know, and a lot of those guys, ugly guys or below average looking guys, they're not paying for pussy. You got some guys that look like models that pay for pussy. Like, just straight up pay for it. And some of the, I worked as a security guard. Some of these females that are hooking nowadays look like less than average chicks, and they charging dudes to fuck, like up front, not just taking her out and shit like that, but they charging up front, and they don't even look like nothing. I'm like, damn, I done pull finer bitches than y'all offline, and y'all charging. I mean, even when some of them got makeup on, they don't even look all that. That's how fucked up the game then got. These dudes are paying 4s and 5s to fuck. And that's because guys are pussy slaves, man. If you're a pussy slave, you're a weak man. If you feel like you can't go 4 or 5 hours without pussy, you're weak. And if your average female can go 4 or 5 years, she's much stronger than you. And even if you do get a decent looking chick, you're going to be a slave in that relationship because you're a pussy slave. She's going to use that shit against you. You're not going to control it. See, a real alpha man don't just want to get the chick. He want to have control in the relationship. And when you think about just getting the pussy, because a lot of guys say, well, I'm just going to hit it and quit it. But what usually happens? What usually happens? If it's good, you don't hit it and quit it. You hit it, and then you try to, you make her a girlfriend, and then you marry that bitch. Or you may not marry her, but she becomes your baby mama or whatever the fuck. And then you attach to her for the rest of your life anyway. A bitch you ain't really like. I done seen guys where I'm like, damn, this dude look like he could be like a model cat. And the chick that he had a baby with, he was knocking it down, but she was a 5 in the face. She had a fat ass. And that's the problem with a lot of black men. If she got a fat ass, a lot of black men don't care what the face look like. I mean, you're doing yourself a major disservice, bro. You know, because you take her to a dinner party, the first thing that people see is not going to be her ass. It's going to be her face. And men are visual creatures. How you going to portray, you know, some shit that's your instinct? Your paternal instinct is to choose based on looks. That's your paternal instinct. Her maternal instinct is to choose based on leadership qualities. You're going against nature, picking a bitch based on how big her ass is. Huh? Come on, man. Follow me? So, a lot of guys, man, all these guys out here thinking, you know, come on, man, and I don't care how much money you got. It's guys that's famous that are pussy slaves. Rich that are pussy slaves. That are paying for it. And shit like that. That's not alpha, bro. That's not even being a strong man. Like I said, if she can go years without dick and she loves it, and you can't go minutes without pussy, she's strong. She's much stronger than you. Because I could tell when I've been with a female who hasn't had cock in a long time. I had this one young chick was like that, man. And I you know, she played it cool, whatever, but I didn't know how bad she wanted to fuck. So I just, you know, kissed her neck, you know, came in from the back way just to test her out. Man, she ain't even let me shower, bro. And you could tell because when you stick it in and they get real wet, or your dick get white real quick, it's been a long time since she had some dick. And females love dick. And then she told me after we got done fucking, oh, I was getting desperate. She had some of these females are going a long time without sex. Some are going months, some are going years. If she can go years and you can't, or if she can go years and you can at least go months, you got half a chance if you bump up in a relationship. But if she can go years without sex and you can't go a few days, you a pussy slave. You got more females out here who are taking long distance trips by themselves than men. I had one guy tell me, the same guy though, he said he think it's strange going to the movies by himself. He said, I'm the first guy he met that did that. You got guys that can't even go to the movies by themselves without a chick. That's like that mommy syndrome, man. That's the inverse of a mama's boy. You can't do shit on your own unless you have some female by your side. And you can't have your mama, so then your wife or your girlfriend becomes your mama. And strong men don't need a mama. Strong men need a mate. Huh? Follow me. Okay? And being a pussy slave, you will never have strength in that relationship. Just letting you know, pussy slaves are not strong men, let alone alphas. They are not alpha men. So all these guys talking about they can't go 5 minutes without it. I've had guys have arguments with their spouses, and then dude came back and told me, damn, now she don't want to give me no pussy. If I'd have known that, I want to argue with her. That's a weak man. That's a beta, delta man. That's a weak man. If you can't go without pussy for a certain amount of time, man, a very short period of time, you are a weak man, and you can never enter in the alpha kingdom. You need that basis first. Not being that's what most men need to get up over before they can even start approaching and all that cool shit. You got to try to get the pussy slave mentality out of you. I'm not saying because I know I've been there. I used to live by that motto, pussy. I'm still struggling with that myself. But I know what has to be done. Sometimes you got to go a long time without sex to get that pussy slave part of you out of you. You got to detox from that shit. And it should have had you fucked up. Should have had you dating fat chicks that don't smell right. And then these chicks don't have to be on no standard because they know just by the way they look, the average motherfucker still lick the ass even if they ain't washed their ass. Because we don't want to be too much of a pussy slave because it messes it. No, we need to keep each other on the square. Meaning, a female need to know if you don't wash your ass, I'm not fucking with you. We got to keep it's called checks and balances. And so some guys are so hungry out here. Like I see one pretty chick at the store today, man, had 4 dudes following her. Not even branching off, going their own ways in the store, just following her. You don't want that, man. You don't want that. If she don't want to follow you, you damn sure don't want to follow her. You know what I mean? And certain, if she know what aisle such and such is in, I feel that. But just following behind her all around the store, and that, because then it goes from being a pussy slave to now you just submissive to women. You don't even care if you get pussy. You just want to be under a woman. I mean that gets pathetic really quickly. But be sure to like, subscribe, man. Just want to check on y'all. Like I said, I don't make videos that often. Only when I believe that I have something real to say. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Continue to like, subscribe, please share. Because like I said, this type of content is not getting out there, man. It's not. Like I said, I've never heard, guys, I've heard all this other shit about approaching and being strong, having money, having power. But getting men away from being pussy slaves, not hearing that, man. That's what society is pushing for. If you can't go without, if you can't go without sex and she can, then she is stronger than you. That her internal game is stronger than yours, and you will be a slave in that relationship. Won't be no 50-50. You will be a slave. But y'all stay true, man. This is your main man, the author, signing out. This is some new software. I barely even know how to fuck with this shit.